Okay, so this is just gonna be a quick little story time video about how I was scammed out of $13,000 at 18 years old. So, the first thing that we need to go over is how I even acquired that amount of money at that age without working a job. Um, a young me, when I was 13 or 14, got about $100 for my birthday. And after that, I ended up doing some dog sitting for neighbors and everything and saved about 160 where I bought my first pair of Jordans. And then you know the story, flipped shoes all the way up to about a grand. um when rep shoes weren't as popular, like replica sneakers, I started re or marketing replica sneakers as unauthorized authentic high quality replica shoes. So I was just kind of spinning them off and making it sound cooler than they were. So I was selling fake shoes saying that they were the best fakes out there, and I was just getting them from China and selling them. I ended up making my capital to start my denim business. So I put in how much did I put in? 8 grand or so to make my denim, order 100 units and everything. I started my website and it was going great. I was getting sales. I was getting them all organically through TikTok. I was posting Instagram reels, all the short form content for my denim. And it was going a lot better than I thought. Then I go on to Reddit and I go on like some personal finance subreddit or something. And I was making so much profit, I didn't know what to do with all the excess money, I didn't know where to put it. I didn't want it just sitting in my bank account going nowhere. So I go on Reddit and I kind of screenshot all my assets, and this is what you don't want to do. But I didn't know. So I say, this is the amount of money I have in here, here, and here, whatever, Robinhood, Wells Fargo. And then I said, what should I do with it? How do I make it grow? Semi passively while I'm working on my denim. This is before I even had a job, too. So I end up breaking even and making a bunch of profit off of the denim business. And so I get messaged by a man on Reddit, and I've been scammed before. We've all probably been scammed before, but this is very embarrassing. The method I was scammed. So I get messaged by some man who was just talking about denim and the manufacturing process, and he just seemed like he wanted to know about how to manufacture denim, this and that. So just normal stuff. He wasn't asking for money. He wasn't even speaking about money. It was just a normal professional conversation. And I went on with this. Then he's kind of like, hey, maybe you should start a LinkedIn, get connected with other manufacturers, people who work in that, and, start building a network. We were talking about networks. And then he gives me his LinkedIn, and he has like the LinkedIn Premium Gold version. He has like a bunch of connections, which I was like, oh wow, he's famous on LinkedIn. That's pretty cool. I guess that's like the Instagram for like Gen X or something. So, he's an older guy. He's like in his late 30s or something. And yeah, so he ends up talking to me over LinkedIn, and we start going back to back, and he's like, hey man, let's just chat on iMessage, and because I don't want to be on LinkedIn, which makes sense, it's way more convenient. He had an iPhone, and I was, it wasn't like a bot phone number where the text message is green, so there was a bit more credibility in one, his LinkedIn gold premium profile that you have to pay for, all the connections. He's been active for years on that account. The posts were all adding up. His name checked out on Google. Everything matched up with what he was telling me. I found blog posts from him when he was when in his 20s. I found all kinds of stuff that he allegedly created. And then he goes on to present some sort of manufacturing venture where I send him an amount of money. It was a lot more complicated than this, but I'm just going to dumb it down to not get fine into the detail. But he twisted this to be convincing, obviously. But the dumbed down version is, you send me money, I send you back this much interest in this amount of months. I'm just working on some sort of wholesaling project or something. I knew the details, better back then, but I kind of forgot over the months. Anyways, I'm like, okay, sure. I had all this money to spare, and at this point, I didn't even register in my brain like the actual value of money because I was making it so easily. It was just rushing all to me, and I was like, okay, I can just dish out a few thousand. And I had liquid probably I I had about 13, 12,000 liquid at the time, and I send him a few $1,000s, and he's like, "All right, man, cool. We'll do this contract through DocuSign." Not only this, but he sent me a picture of him, like holding his ID and everything, and he had like a piece of paper that had my name, and it was a live photo. And I'm like, "How can you fake this? Like you'd have to pay someone." It was just really, really convincing. It sounds stupid, thinking about it now, but in the moment, with promises of a return and live photos, FaceTime calls, phone calls, this and that, photos of his dog, regular conversation, this and that. He even sent me a gift card for DoorDash, which I bought food with. So it was all very, very well planned out. Anyways, I end up sending him, a few thousand after a few thousand for each of these contracts that he would write, that we would sign, that promised money in a certain amount of months. And I was super greedy. I really wanted a return quickly. And this is my lesson, I guess. I started sending him money before the initial investment even came back to me, along with the interest. So this was still in the amount of time that it was 3 months. He was allocated 3 months for like 20%. So absurd number, big numbers, very, very catchy numbers for someone who wants to make money very fast with just loose money. So I send him a few thousand over and over again. And at this point, I'm kind of in a very bad place at the same time. I'm in the process of moving, becoming homeless, moving into my dad's place, getting kicked out of my dad's place, and then becoming homeless again. So I had like a large gap where I was kind of trying to make ends meet, find where I needed to go, all that stuff, all while needing to get money very quickly. So I thought of this as just like, okay, I know this guy's legit, this and that. He sent me a literal photo of his ID, which in my head was like, okay, if I have his ID, he's not, the cops could get involved, this and that. I'm not familiar with the law at all. So I was completely blind walking into this. After a few months, he doesn't get back to me, and he's like, okay, I just lost this job at so and so, and or I quit this job, or transferred. He's being transferred from one job to another, and he said he had no income. He kept coming up with excuses saying, oh, I'll pay you when I get my bonus. Oh, sorry, my mom got sickness, and I have to take care of her. Oh, okay, my dad got a sickness, this and that, whatever, about his family, about his personal finances, and when he's getting paid, his pay cycle. And then eventually I started, getting aggressive and being like, hey, you can't do this. Okay, I know what you're doing. And the way he would go back at me is he'd make it seem like I was the one in the wrong for not being considerate over his situations, when I wasn't bringing up, hey man, I'm literally homeless, right? And I didn't bring that up because that doesn't have anything to do with the money. When he asked for money and I agreed to it, I didn't say, "Hey, I'm in a tough spot, this and that." It was my choice, and I sent him the money. So I fully expected him to have that same respect back. So no, obviously he didn't. He's like, "Oh, you're being, this and that. You're being super ignorant, and you're not caring about my situation and all this stuff." All right, I had to deal with some noise, but yeah, he would make me feel really bad while talking, and I would feel bad to even ask and for the money back. I just felt really defeated and hopeless at this point. Like I didn't even feel like it was worth texting him to get my own money back because I knew it'd just be useless. He wouldn't give me my money back and nothing would really happen. Posted the situation on Reddit. I get a lot of mixed responses of people saying, "Oh, you can sue him in a civil court, or you can file a criminal case or whatever with the police." Or the majority were saying, "You just got scammed. You lost all your money." uh, find a way to pick yourself back up. So at that point, I already was like, okay, most people were saying it's over, and I still have all this guy's information, but I might as well kind of give up. So the this whole situation ends up just dissipating. And sometime within the time that I was sending this guy money, I was working with the manufacturer of my denim business. And I had paid him for hoodies to manufacture hoodies. And I've worked with him in the past. I've gotten all my units on time. Everything worked. But now I wanted to do hoodie jackets. He sends me a sample of my hoodie jacket. I get it. And then I don't receive the rest of the goods. I order 100 of them for around $3,500, and it's nothing. Went nowhere. Never heard from the guy again. Emailed him, texted him. He just disappeared. And yeah, that was I ended up sending probably a total of 10 grand um to the one guy who from Reddit from Reddit scammed. That's got to be a record, honestly, but that's got to be some sort of accomplishment, losing that much money on Reddit. But at my age, it's crazy. But yeah, yeah, total of around 14,000 dollars. Um, and what did I do to recover? Honestly, I just got a job. I got a 9 to 5 job, and I was able to maintain myself, and everything feels pretty stagnant. When you have a business of your own and it's doing really well, and you've kind of made it so efficient that it's almost working for you. You're not really doing anything for the money. You're not working, you're not putting in, but once you have a job, you really value that money a lot more, and it's a lot harder to get. It doesn't just flow. And after getting a job and becoming comfortable with having a 9 to 5 job, I pretty much just lost passion for the denim. I stopped doing it. I mean, I don't really even have contact with the manufacturer anymore, and stopped really selling. I still get an occasional order and I fill that out, but I have limited stock now. And yeah, I just want to document this journey that sometimes if you get scammed, or if you lose money somehow, if you gamble, if just know that there's a 9 to 5 waiting for you on the other side.